Good morning, and I've been asked to to start this celebration off with a prayer this morning. So if you'd all bear along with me. As always, I always say my prayer in my language that I was blessed with. And I mean no offense to anybody. But this is the way that the good Lord had blessed me with this language. So I want to use it this morning on behalf of the graduates here and the people, relatives that are here today witnessing this event. So bear along with me. Hana mi mai. Ikarabe chui kone, karabe kin doi gidi. And zang sway, youngest day. Ik, the Madok up. Sixty of them, Maridira Marangi, Mike Carbo Poriak, even this Mamunagar, Marunagar, Zainda, and the Muat and Bopon Sway, I guess you take. It is my dress mattering, oh, yes, my land for us to get. Maybe mer, Mike, it is my upper on beer, Marangago, Dogo, Hutsi, Gero, Manzo, and Zanso, I should take for it. Marividik. And Sikavichu Sway, and Gassunte. Diladika, yes, me with me, and the Muat. The creature can have you, the Knastic, and Zang Sway. The retying when you go there, we play Maxuruna Funde, and Zang Sway, the Sunte, Maxuruna Funde. All your Susuma, Zang Sway should take it. The Hakri Maron here. You cannot take on here. You never know when I see Zang Sway Sute. Maybe met. No, I am missing and a minute to one way. And Zang Sway, Yangasante. So you must understand that way why you bush it. Maybe met. And the New York and Bopon. May so often do right. Neos.
Thank you, Ramblers. Thank you, Mr. Shoyo. Please be seated. Good morning and welcome, family and friends, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert, staff, faculty, and students. It's great to see you all here to recognize our class of 2020 in person, in real life. It's good to see you all again. We greatly appreciate everybody coming out and helping us make this happen, knowing that it was going to take some extra steps with precaution to ensure everybody's health and safety, and we thank you for helping us out with that and for being here. Thanks to all of you who turned out for the parade. Any of you who are listening on the radio, feel free to stay on the parade route because the kids will be following that same route out, and we appreciate the turnout and the support. To the faculty, staff, thank you for everything you've done to help these kids get here. It takes a lot of love, it takes a lot of compassion and commitment, and they wouldn't be out here without you guys. And to the graduates, thank you for giving us a good reason to come out and get out of the houses and gather again. even if it did require a few extra steps. So thank you. Before handing this off to Mr. Shoyo, I would like to tell you guys a little bit about a story with this group that really impressed me. And it was a few weeks ago when we kind of got to the point where we knew school wasn't going to come back in the spring the way that we were hoping for it to. We had decided that it was really unlikely for us to have a traditional graduation ceremony, and I knew I was going to have to break that news. So several of the students that you see up here from this graduating class met with me virtually, and I knew that it wasn't going to be the news that they wanted, and I knew that there was going to be a little bit of disappointment, and I expected that some of that would be shared, and that would have been fair and understandable. When we look around right now, a lot of people are frustrated with the sacrifices we're having to make, and not everybody's handling it very well. And we can see that on the news, and we can see that when we look around. And it's understandable because this is a hard thing to go through, and we are having to be very patient, and it's gone on longer than we all had ever hoped. So I just want to say that I was very impressed with this group, because when we met, they didn't express any frustration, and they didn't express any disappointment, even though I know they felt it. And what they showed was a lot of maturity and a lot of adaptability, because what they did was they talked through it, they asked questions, and they shared ideas for us to make this the best that we could make it given the current circumstances. And additionally, they showed a lot of compassion, and they showed a lot of concern for their friends and their peers, because when we talked about extending it into June, part of that discussion was because we were hoping that we might be able to gather here more traditionally. But the other part of that was discussed was that they knew they had some peers in their group that could use a little extra time. And they didn't have to take that into consideration, but you guys did. And I know that those of you who are sitting here, because you got that extra time, really appreciate it. So thank you all for being great to each other. I'd say that those are traits that we could all use a little bit more of in the world. They'll take you farther in your life, and they'll get you through tough times. Being patient and empathetic, being adaptable. So carry that on, share it a little bit, and help people be better. So thank you for that. With that, I'll pass it back to Mr. Shoyo.
Again, Zambechu. I want to first of all thank the students for asking me again to be their speaker. I don't know if it was coerced by Ms. Wilcox, I don't know. But it was an honor. The students approached me in March, before school was out. It was earlier than that. But they approached me and asked me to be the speaker. Like I said, it's an honor to be thought of in those regards by the students. And I thank them for that. But first and foremost, I want to thank the board, faculty, the teachers. But last and not least, importantly, it's you, parents, grandparents, that pushed them to where they're at today, sitting up here. Some of our students made the round trip, going here and there, but they end up coming back. Like they said, always an eagle, you will be an eagle. So I thank the students for that. But this morning, it's kind of hard. I want to start off first by saying that we had a student And what's equally hard for me was that I gave him the Indian name. Engawarhe. Red Fox. I'm referring to a student who's here for a short time. And this morning we honor him by a chair over there with his picture on it. I'm talking about Mr. Darian Ferris. It was hard. I kept getting asked, are you going to mention him? I said, yeah, it's been on my mind. He was the type of guy we all knew. He was into everything. First one. I can still remember the things that he did when he's coming down the hallway. When he sees me out in the hallway. The way he dances up. Stuff like that that the students, they remember. The friendships that they had is still ongoing. This morning the teachers felt that. We all felt that. So I want to talk about him a little bit before I got into what the student had asked me to do. And stuff like that that makes us realize how important life is, how important friendship is, how the students, they need each other. And this group here showed that. And I thank them for that. So I want to kind of eulogize this morning and explain about what the chair was there with his picture on it. As far as I'm concerned, he's still a part of this class. So I want to say that. Thank you for listening to me on in that regard. So students, like I said, it's an honor that you've considered me to be your speaker this morning. I've done this in the past, and at that time my message was to each class that graduated, don't give up. Don't give up. I kept stressing that. What I mean by that is you have your whole future ahead of you. This is only a small step. You receive your high school diploma. Now that world opens up to you. You have your choosing of where you want to go. Some of you have already made that decision where you're going, and that's good. And there's some of you that are still uncertain. But with support from the family, you'll make that right decision. It's hard in times like this. The way we finished our school year wasn't too good. We as teachers were frustrated by it. But yet, you guys persevered. And you're here. And that's the way life is for you guys to persevere. Don't give up. Words like this, you're going to hear it from your family. Listen. Listen to them. The words of advice that's coming to you. It's going to make you that much stronger to face what's out there for you. This morning I offer those words to you. And this morning I really want to say again thank you to the parents, the grandparents, siblings, teachers, staff, administration, the board that pushed them. Even though if we had this virtual learning, we're here today to celebrate what they accomplished. Like Mr. Ray has said, that it's not the way that they imagine it to be. But here we are, still celebrating it. So I want to thank you, parents, grandparents, for that push, that support. These students, I know most of them, they come to elementary, the elementary side, and I got to know each and every one of them. Like Mr. Ray said, this group never say die. We want to keep going. And I enjoyed having them in my class one time or another. So again, I want to say thank you. Class of 2020. I want to say thank you for asking me to speak. I had a whole long, how many pages of speech that I was going to kind of say, but with the situation we're at, I didn't want to go into that much of a length. So you guys, I'm going to let you guys off easy. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoyo. We will now be joined by our valedictorian, Little Wolf LeBeau.
Hello everyone, my name is Wolf LeBeau, and thank you all for coming to the Fort Washakie High School graduation of 2020. I have never understood why people stay to enjoy high school while it lasts, but now I guess I do. And I know everyone else does too. It feels like it hasn't been that long since we were all kids trying to figure out what to do. Figuring out where classes were, meeting new teachers, and getting used to what would be a new chapter in our lives. I know we have learned so much here in the past 4 years, with some of us being here before the new school was built and learning how to get used to the new buildings and rules. We have all grown up so much and have done many things, and I know we will keep going wherever we end up. I also want to thank all the staff that have helped us along the way. I would like to thank the principals for making the school better every year. I would like to thank the custodians for making sure everything's clean, for dealing with our messes. I would like to thank the cooks for making sure we had something to eat every day. I would like to thank security for making sure everything is in check every day. I would like to thank the counselors for helping us when we need help and guidance. And I would like to thank the teachers. Thank you, Miss Reed, for always popping in and helping us when we needed it. Thank you, Mr. Gates and Miss Howdyshell, for helping us with math and making it easier to understand. Thank you, Miss Calvert, for always engaging us in all of your science classes and for helping us in any way you can. Thank you, Miss Legendre, for always helping us with social studies and always being thoughtful of everyone and their feelings. Thank you, Mr. Reed and Miss Polena, for helping us in English even if we had bad days. And most of all, I would like to thank Miss Tracy for always keeping all of us on the right track and making sure we all had good grades so we could be here today. I'm so glad to have had all of you as teachers. And as of today, we will all go our separate ways. Some will leave, some will stay, and for my fellow graduates, I know I've never really talked and expressed myself to all of you, but just know that even if you didn't know it, I have always cared for each and every one of you. You're all like a family to me, and I'm happy to have spent all of these years with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wolf. Okay, next step, are you ready? Graduates. You know, I was thinking the other day how, I was feeling kind of, just that it kind of stunk that you guys lost prom this year and you lost a lot of the senior typical spring experiences. but then it did click that you guys had a heck of a senior skip day. So, but we'll overlook it. All right, front row, and if I could please be joined by Mr. Ebert. Front row, please stand. We will now award diplomas. Isaiah Amesback. Go ahead, that one. Juanita Arthur. Amari Burser. TJ Edmonds. He was not able to make it today, but we're very proud of him as well. Congratulations, TJ, if you're listening. Little Wolf LeBeau. All right, back row, please stand. Mackenzie Logan. DeAndre Moon. Verl Phillips. Tashara Spoonhunter.
Burl. Burl.
For Washakie class of 2020, by the authority of the Fremont County 21 School Board of Trustees, with the moving of your tassels, you are now graduates. Congratulations.